For the recording here, for the second part, this is part 2. This is Steve 1166 on Blog TV and PC Camera on the computer help room. Okay, Steve, over to you.
Right, obviously, in the manual book, it does tell you a lot of things. It does tell you, like, obviously a safety guide on how to install it and put it in. It also gives you a summary of what you can do to certain things on the motherboard. Let me set that up now.
You would need to have some sort of understanding about computers to be able to understand the manual, wouldn't you?
Yes. Which, I'm just trying to sit this somewhere. So, obviously, tells you about what type of processor you can put on this type of motherboard. This will take the AMD 3 processor, which I've already got one installed on a previous computer, and they do actually run, well, I wouldn't say they're great, but they do actually run to...
Right. If someone is watching the video and obviously sees what Steve is talking about, and you do want a computer built and you live within the UK within distance, you can reach Steve. He has a room on Blog TV and we'll post it for you later in the video. If you want a computer built and you live within distance, you can contact Steve 1166, PM him on Blog, and I'll give you his details how you get in touch with him.
Yep. And also my link to my new web page is up on the top of the page.
Steve has a website, friends, that he's just really started to build. Check it out. And if you want to, or you're interested in getting a computer built for yourself, you can contact him and talk to him personally, and he'll give you whatever details between yourselves. Steve, one question I wanted to ask you, if you didn't mind. How do you know what type of memory to get for the motherboard? Would that be in the manual?
Yes, it will be in the manual, and also it does tell you on. Well, sometimes if you look on the motherboard, normally, depending what type, it's normally written sort of across there what type of memory it is, but if you're not sure on what type of memory to get, then my best advice would be to ask every single detail and every sort of thing that you want to know about buying a motherboard. Obviously, there is like DDR. There is DDR memory out, which is for older motherboards, but you can install it onto new ones. You've also got the DDR2, which is an AMD, well, it fits any type motherboard. But you've also got another new memory that's just come out recently, the DDR3, which I got asked the other day what's the difference between the two memory, which is the DDR2 and the DDR3. The DDR3 is a lot more powerful, and it also is a lot more, in my experience, is a lot more better than the DDR2.
Yeah.
Obviously, I will be showing you how to install the memory at a later date on this same motherboard, as well as the graphics card and possibly a processor.
That's DDR3 there, friends, okay. Now obviously there's probably different types of it. Now the reason I mentioned the memory, friends, was because sometimes you have to check the manual number and etc. on your computer, because if you do what I done and you sort of look at it and look at the slot and you say, okay, I'll get it, unfortunately you can end up what I done wrong. I got the wrong type and I'm stuck with it. 2 gigs. So that's why I asked about the memory. Some people might be under the illusion that you can put any memory in any computer. It doesn't work like that, Steve. Here it doesn't.
No. And also, when you've also got to take into the account that when you are doing a, oops, sorry about that, friends, I just had to reset my page.
Right, I'll bring you back on, Mel.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, you're back, okay.
Yeah, obviously, when installing the memory, you do have to take into account, obviously, you have to get the right memory, obviously. You can go, the maximum you can go up to on the AMD motherboard is up to an 8 gig capacity, but obviously can go up to a 32 gigabyte if you've got the 4 slots, which that's it. And obviously, if you're installing the Windows 7 32-bit, you would have to just stick with just an 8 gig or a 4 gig memory sticks of DDR3. If you're installing the 64-bit, then there is no capability, which means you can install the 32-bit if that's what you want. Now, this specific motherboard has also got, as you can see, it's got the SATA connections. It's also, there's 6 on this motherboard, which if you want to, you can install up to 6 hard drives, or you could have 2 hard drives and possibly 4 DVD drives. You've got your USB connections here. You've got your panel, you've got your slots things there to install for the HDMI and all the power leads there, which I will be showing you in just a minute. This motherboard also supports the it also comes with the USB 3 on it, which I will be showing you that in just a little bit as well. Obviously the back panel. Now, this is just tricky. Also, I will point out that when you buy a case, you can take the front face off, just so that you don't want the wires in the way, or you can just sometimes, to save the hassle, you can just tie them up, tie the cables out the way. But obviously I took it off because I was installing something else on this last night, yeah. So I didn't have to do it today.
Big Toe says, I wish I knew stuff like this. I'm saying it takes time to learn.
Yes, it does take time, and also I will point out that I have been to college and got my degree. Obviously, only got a level 3, which I will point out. So I I will be honest, I don't know everything on computers, so sometimes I will make mistakes and sometimes I will get it wrong, which
Well, as I say, welcome to the room, welcome Beto and little LEM, which is left, Jess, Steve, and obviously myself. Steve, you'll be talking about how to install a power supply unit and a processor on stuff on a later date, won't you?
yeah, so we'll be obviously I have to buy the stuff as when I've got the money, obviously, and which people may sort of know that computer parts do not come cheap nowadays, which I will point out that you do have to look around for the best deal for a motherboard. Obviously, you don't want to go out and buy one that's probably £29 or less than £20. You get it and install it and find out it does not work.
Right. What is that actually, sorry mate, what's that actually you're doing at the minute? To see some small wires, you just tan them back or?
No, what I'm doing is I took the front face cover off last night, so obviously to make it easier for myself to actually put the motherboard in, so I didn't have to sort of waste time to actually, so that's what I'm doing now, but it's being a bit tricky at the moment, obviously. And once I've done this, then I will. Oops. Show you. Where everything goes. I would also like to point out that to buy a motherboard as well, online, you would have to be careful on certain places where you go. Now, the best advice I can give you would be it is up to the genuine person on who's buying, or if they want to buy a motherboard, but also online. I have had people come up to me and say that they bought a motherboard for possibly 14 to 15 quid online on eBay, only to find that they haven't read what it actually why it's that cheap, and also to find out that it only spares and repairs, which you spend the money out, you buy a brand new tower, and then you go and spend the money on eBay or any on eBay to buy a motherboard and then find out that it's not working, and then that person's kind of well, a bit peed off. But
So your recommendation is basically be careful when you're buying a motherboard.
My recommendation would be just to go to a genuine computer shop, or even a genuine computer website like eBuyer, which I use to myself. I will give details sort of in my own show, or if people PM me, I will give them details on where to go if they want. Or if I would also say that it would be better to go to a computer shop as well to actually get advice from when buying a motherboard. Obviously, it would be better to go to the shop that you go to get computer parts.
Right.
Obviously, to
So what are you doing at the minute? Are you actually putting in the power button ID cables and stuff?
yes, I just put the front case in basically to
Right.
show you where I'm now going to show you where all the cables go.
Right, because that would be a big problem when you're installing a motherboard.
Yes.
You probably what do you find? You probably find the details. Correct me if I'm wrong. Would you find the details on the manual where you would put the USB power lead? Where you put the
Yes, you would.
right?
Obviously, if you're like myself and you're not really got very good eyesight, you can't really, because some manuals do come with pictures and they will tell you on, they will write in beside it, or sometimes you get a manual that's the writing's too small and you can't really see it because you've got, like myself, you've got really bad, I wouldn't say bad eyesight, but you've got kind of bad eyesight. Oh, my camera just.
Oh, mine's not the best. They say I have a big magnifying glass here for me.
Well, there's so many wires on it. Obviously.
And an important factor you'll probably cover anyway, which would be that make sure you don't have the power supply lead plugged in when you're doing this.
Yes, that would be the best advice on that one, VZ. Good job you pointed that one out. I was actually going, oops. I don't know why that's coming off.
And as you say, use an anti-static wristband to be on the safe side.
Yes, obviously, when you're putting the wires on, but, you know. Yep.
So this isn't for what I would call the wimps. This is for someone that's that would be keen and be willing to try and learn how to do it. It wouldn't be for what I would call a wimp that would be scared of doing it.
Oh, no. Obviously, I would also point out that if you haven't got any experience in doing this, then I would definitely advise not to do it because you don't want to put it in, and if you have not got any experience in doing this sort of thing, then you don't want to connect one power lead up and then you turn it on and you get a nasty electric shock.
Yeah, I would recommend that if you do live within the distance of Steve or nearby when you're talking to him, I would recommend. I don't think he could be that dear on you. So I would recommend to get someone like yourself that knows what they're doing, because you can actually fry the motherboard yourself if you do the wrong thing.
Yes, you can. Right. Now, I'm going to talk to you on the various different cables on the...
We should have another 10 or 15 minutes on the video. If it means going to another video, we'll do that.
Yeah, just let them.
Right, I'll let you know whenever it's...
Now, obviously, this is an advanced PC case, which you're probably sitting there wondering, what does he mean? Now, obviously, it has got a 20 mil fan on the front. And it's also got a CPU temperature. Hang on, bear with me, guys. Obviously, it would be the guys should read the manual when installing. Now, obviously, also this specific tower does come with a clock and temperature LCD unit function on the front, which means that you can tell what temperature the motherboard is actually. It tells you on the front of the case, on the front panel of the which I will be showing you in a minute shortly. It does tell you on here how to set the clock, the temperature, the operating temperature as well of the motherboard. It also tells you the storage temperature, or if the temperature is too high for the hard drive, it will tell you. It also gives you the operating voltage, which should be 4.5 volts. The operating temperature should be between 0 to 50 Celsius. The storage temperature should also be 10 Celsius to 60 Celsius. Now, sometimes, obviously, if you don't have the right power supply, or if the power supply is too low, this motherboard takes a 480 watt power supply, and possibly, obviously, I have to read the manual book to find out if it does go any higher. But I was reading up on the other day, which it just says it takes up to a 450. Yeah, it is compatible for. Will only take the 450 watt power supply.
Right, so basically every motherboard's different then. You maybe put a 250 watt in one, 700 in another, and etc.
Yeah, obviously, the deal with the motherboard, then obviously there is motherboards out there which will cost up to nearly 300 to 400 quid. I actually seen one the other day at a computer shop which actually cost nearly 500 quid, which I wish if I had the money at the time, I would have bought it, but obviously I would have had to buy a bigger tower because it has got a lot more stuff on it, and it is, well, to my knowledge, it is way too, it has got far too much stuff on it to my. I would have liked to have bought the dearer one, but obviously it had too much specs on it, so which means I wouldn't have been able to. I could have learned how to use it, but it would have taken me possibly months to learn it. Because some people think, well, installing a motherboard's easy. You put it in, you put the wires in, and that's it. The work's done. I can tell you, my friend, that the work is, once you've installed the motherboard, the work is not done, because you then have to obviously put your hard drive in. If you're buying a new hard drive, you've got to which goes, oh, hang on. Obviously in these bays here, you've got that's where your hard drive goes. You've got the bay up the top, which for DVD drivers, or if you've got the money to spend on a Blu-ray DVD driver, then that goes. I would also like to point out that when I've just noticed in the manual, but good job I did look at that this motherboard is also a dual I've got a call coming across to me on Skype, so I'm going to have to just put, hold on my friend, I've got somebody trying to call me on Skype, but...
Okay, no problem. I'm sure Steve will be quite happy to answer a couple of questions for you once he's finished talking about the motherboard and etc.
Right, obviously this is a dual core, dual integrated memory as well. Right, onto, I will talk about other specs in a minute. I'm going to show you where.
Do you want to take a 5-minute break and come back to it, or?
Yeah, that's okay, because I've got my sister calling me on Skype,
Right.
and
Right.
she's been a bit of a pain.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Give us 5 minutes, friends. Let's take a break, have a coffee, have something, a smoke, whatever you want to do. If you're obviously you have to be a certain age, so if you do smoke, okay. Smoking is bad for you. If you see me doing it and you're younger, do not do it. It is bad for you. Okay, let's play a bit of music for 5 minutes, and we'll come back to the show in 5 minutes.
I'll call you back on Skype.